And we are live on Kera Dangerous Talk. It's been a while since I've been back with my boy Ron Hurd the second. You better not say third. So WeAllbe TV. Yes,
That's right. There you go. Yeah, we made it. We made it. We made it to the big time.
that's right. Before we get into talking about this year, as soon as we was about to go on, breaking news. Uh Breaking that. You know what? My mic isn't even on. But you know why, Ron?
What?
I know you want to say why.
Mercury retrograde. Mercury
Re-
retrograde. Damn,
Yeah.
damn. Mercury retrograde.
I mean, my mic is on, but I wasn't hooked up to it, so I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah,
So,
that's all right. I can hear you. I'm sure they can hear you out there as well.
yes, hello everybody. Facebook, uh, YouTube, Twitter, all the above. Run breaking news right out the gate.
Hmm.
Barbara Walters dead at is it 93?
Yeah. Wow.
Barbara Walters, legendary trailblazing TV broadcaster, news anchor, journalist, um, newsmaker, yeah, all the above.
Hmm.
It's gone. Somebody Oprah Winfrey really looked up to.
Yeah.
So many anchors looked up to. I just so many have said Barbara Walters is the reason why they do what they do in media.
Oh yeah, she's definitely iconic. I mean, she's part of my childhood. I was looking forward to Baba Wata on 2020 and other shows, those specials she do for around Christmas, like the most interesting, intriguing people and all that. She really set a template and a pace and a style and a beat that will be missed.
And I have to say, and I guess I shouldn't have showed that little caption right there, but just like you said, Barbara Walters,
Hmm.
SNL and comedians,
Yeah.
throughout the years have always made fun of her little speech impediment,
Hmm.
and that's always been like a running joke, but it never stopped her from doing the great work that she did. But if I asked you, Ron, what's your favorite Barbara Walters interview or moment? I know one of them is probably the same thing that's sticking out in my mind. It's her interview with Louis Farrakhan, because I don't know if it was him that pointed out. I don't know who pointed it out. It might have been a comedian. But when you
Hmm.
watch that interview, and if you haven't seen it or you don't remember, please after this show, Google it, pull it up on YouTube. But you could tell that Barbara, she was about to risk it all for Farrakhan. She was about to, the way she was looking at Farrakhan like he was a piece of meat. Dude, you don't remember that interview, Ron?
I don't remember that. It's funny because you bring up Farrakhan. He a boy from Roxbury, Massachusetts. He out of Boston, but she actually had a love affair with Senator Edward Brooke, the first black senator from
Wow.
Massachusetts, and she talked about it in her autobiography. I mean, I was thinking about it. She loved the brothers. She had love for the brothers.
Yeah, we could see that in that interview.
Hmm.
But talking about just deaths, it, I read people comments and they say it seems like somebody dying every day. And of course,
Yeah.
people die every day. But I guess when people say that, they mean in notable people, celebrities. But Barbara Walters, I thought about her from time to time because she was one of those people that kind of went missing. I think one of her things was, being young and vibrant and doing the great work she did. As she got older, she didn't want to be seen as much, and that's what the tabloid started saying, like she didn't really want to have herself out there. Every now and then you would hear somebody say, well, Whoopi said she heard from her, or this person said they got a glimpse of her or talked to her for 5 minutes. But really over the last couple of years, you haven't heard much about Barbara Walters.
Yeah, I mean, she's very iconic. She's like a throwback from them days, or like people like Walter Cronkite and
Hmm.
Mac Wallace. Very iconic. When the news when the news media people become the news, she's like one of those type of people. But I actually do like her because she's very distinctive,
Hmm.
distinctive look, distinctive sound. But she embraced what made her uniquely her, and there
Hmm.
were people. She was authentic to herself, and it came across very well via the media.
Yes, it did. So, I mean, I don't know if we said enough, but I mean, Trailblazer, icon, all that. Barbara Walters. passed away at 93. 93 is a good age because you lived a lot of
Mhm.
life, and we've seen her work, so we know that she's had good moments in her life, and she reached the pinnacle of a career, right?
Yeah,
If you want
yeah.
to say I want to do well in my career, I think she can rest in peace knowing that she did wonderful in her career.
Good job, well done, Barbara. West well, West well, Barbara. West well.
How can you do that,
It's always out of love, man. Like she
Mama?
part of my childhood, man. I ain't gonna never forget Barbara Wata.
Barbara Walters. I
With
can't
that
really
building
talk about
around
how
me on
anybody
Saturday Live
talks
that did
because
her. Yeah.
people think I talk funny too. So
Well, you
I
gotta embrace that. I just think it's interesting that, to me, what made us so successful persons like with Mike Tyson, people would assume that Mike was an idiot. Now we know he's brilliant. But because of the way he sounded, his
well,
voice
you may
didn't
be a
match his look.
stretch to say brilliant, but he's okay. Yeah,
I mean,
and
no,
he.
he is a philosopher. I mean, he is a philosopher. I mean, if you listen to his podcast or this how he matured as a man, you gotta think about a lot of people that came up with him no longer here. Like the guy who allegedly shot 50 Cent, that was his best friend, the one who shot 50 about 9 times. Homo bomb, whatever. He came up with a lot of roughneck dudes. I mean, the way he reminisced about Tupac and stuff like that. That show you the type of life he has led and what he has learned from life and what he's given back out there. But I think with Barbara Walters, I think she was smart in how she handled herself towards the end. Kind of like you see your great athlete, they so great, but they stay too long in the arena or on the stage. You start seeing them fall. So she know when to hold them, when to fold them. So more power
Know
to her.
when to hold them,
That's right.
know when to fold. I don't know if that's how it goes, but
Well,
look, I got something to say to you, Run, and not to traumatize you, but sometimes you just need
You
to.
keep talking, man, and you shut the fuck up, huh?
oh yeah, I can't escape that dude. That dude everywhere. It's like a scary movie. Dick Gregory everywhere. Dick everywhere, man. Dick is everywhere.
Dick is everywhere, and
Right.
since we're talking about dick everywhere, this is the this is the Kera Dangerous Talk 2022 in review. Okay, so let's talk about it. You said dick is everywhere, and not just any dick is everywhere, but Nick Canyon's dick has been everywhere. And I hope for goodness sake I can say dick on YouTube without them taking this down. Because if I can't say dick without them taking this down, then this will be taken down.
Let's back it up. Y'all save it. You screenshot whatever you gotta do. Screen record.
So I think you'll agree, Ron. We heard Nick Canyon name so much this year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to do about it. Just a baby making machine. It's either is he having all these children because of his lupus? Does he have some kind of illness we don't know about? We did see him going to the hospital once this year. If he went more than once, I didn't see it, but we know his history with his health issues. Okay, but I have to tell you, I'm one of those people who, when he had the children with Mariah, the twins, I'm thinking that's gonna be it, or maybe have one or two. But 8, Run?
I mean, like you say, he's sick. I'm thinking about maybe he looking at somebody to donate him an organ or two later on. One of his kids donate. Like Scarface the rapper, his son donated him a kidney, I believe, to save his life. So maybe Nick is planning further down the road. Like I might need some kidney transplant on liver, or whatever, and one of them might be the one, the golden ticket. I'm just saying, I don't know.
It must be. And every time somebody brings up how many kids he has, and every time a holiday comes by, people are saying he has too many kids to visit at once. And they always put this photo up and they say Nick Cannon is tired. And whenever I see this photo of him, he looks tired. And this is what I relate to it, this photo right here. Because he tried to make it like he was the super dad. And he could just be everywhere, but we see him, he has a million jobs. Okay, he's hosting, he had it on TV show at one period, and then, like you said, health issues. And so, at first the women tried to act like everything was hunky-dory. We'll see a photo here with him taking one of his families out to the pumpkin patch. Another one, he lost one child with one, now he's having another with the same one he lost a one with. And now the one black woman that he had the child with, full black, dark-skinned woman.
Mm-hmm.
She's now saying all that as a facade, and she will talk about it at some point, and that he really doesn't have time to spend with all those children, and he just takes photos for the media as a photo op to make it look like he does.
Well, Dick Gregory was one of his heroes and Jegnas, or y'all call them mentors. I call them Jegnas, and he's kind of following Dick's footsteps in terms of his political stances and activism, and also all the kids he having. I don't even know if he actually doing the physical. Maybe he got his sperm saved somewhere and he's injecting the women. I don't think he actually screwing out on women. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Now, I've heard that same thing, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
He may not even be doing it, and maybe they have some kind of pact because they're supposed to be well taken care of. But when it comes to children, for a father or a mother to just work and provide and show little time, that's not enough, because kids, they yearn that attention, they yearn for even discipline, they yearn for that one-on-one relationship. It is not only important for the child, but it's important for the parent as well. And I think he started to realize that the more and more he had him, because I have to be honest, Ron, for me, it was either is Nick Cannon an idiot? Because I was like, I grew up watching him. He was a young entrepreneur, a young actor. He seemed like he had his head on his shoulder. You didn't hear about him getting in trouble. Then all of a sudden, he got in trouble with those people that don't like to be talked about. And then he started becoming this stereotype for Black people, this man who just lays with anybody and goes around and make all these children and doesn't give them a proper home, as far as two people in the home and being concentrated on that one family. So for a minute there, I said to myself, is he just an idiot? But then I'm hearing from some people that it seems like if you look at his progression, he started to get into this Afrocentric way of living a lifestyle, and perhaps he believes that what he's doing is the right way to live. But I think what he's gonna find is he has spread not only his sperm thin, but he has spread himself thin as well.
I mean, live and learn. I don't have no problem with him doing what he's doing, because there's no such thing as a perfect situation to raise kids in or to help kids with. And a lot of times, it's all who his partner is too. Like the young lady, I don't know her history or story with Nick or with her beef is, but I was thinking about this the other day. It's like you could do a lot for your kids. Your kids still gonna love you at the end. It's people that did a lot of things for their kids, and when it's time for them to get their diapers changed later on, their kids nowhere to be found, and they're in a nursing home or hospice care, whatever, being neglected, and they spend all their time raising their kids. And to me, you don't know what your kid end up becoming. Regardless if you show them love and care, they could become a mass murderer or serial killer or whatever. It is what it is. But my thing is like, you got to be like, you got to love them anyway, because they're your kids.
And guys, if y'all listening out there, leave us some notes in the live chat and tell us how you feel about these topics, because we're going to be going over some of the biggest topics of 2022, and we're going to try to do it all in an hour for you, so we're going to give it to you straight.
Okay.
But Ron, before we get into more of that, I have to say it's been some tough, challenging times, and it's been so tough. I am a coffee drinker, but it's really been this tough for me. I've had to kind of increase my dosage. Let me just give you a little example here. This is literally the size cup of coffee that I have to have to function, Ron. That's it.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I feel your pain.
If coffee becomes a drug, lock me up, baby. Take me in, because I am an addict. Just as simple as that. But I think we're all feeling a little bit under the weather, as far as it's so many people that have complaints or feel like life is so hard right now. Depression, being broke, just the morale of people all around. You could blame it on COVID, you could blame it on inflation, maybe you can blame it on the Mercury retrograde run.
Yeah, I do that. I do it all day.
But how is life going to you right now? What's going on here?
They trying to break people's spirit, but what Beyonce saying? You can't break my soul, or you can't take my soul. You can't break it.
One of
It's a
those.
trying time. Yeah, I just like I was thinking about that today. It's like it's not about black and white. It's about life and death. People. It's not
Mhm.
about color. It's about character. It's
Mhm.
about seeing it through because my timeline is inundated or whatever inundated or inundated, whatever they call it, is
Mhm.
clogged like some arteries with like this death notices, young and old people. Like it was a beautiful woman that just passed, and she died after having childbirth, her last child. She
Mhm.
was looking forward to meeting her daughter, and she's dead. Beautiful young lady with a beautiful family, and I know people. The namesake of his widow, Miss Jane Irvin, the namesake of my scholarship, the John B. Irvin Scholarship. She's just passed. She was 100 years young, about to be
Woo.
101 in February, but it was a life well lived though. But yeah,
Mhm.
I know people dying in their 30s and stuff right now in their 20s. Um, Death does not discriminate. And
No.
my thing is that people got to live the best versions of themselves now. Stop putting off tomorrow for what you can do right now in this moment. It's all we got is the present. That's why it's a gift.
Now that's so true, but sometimes it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Run and because depression affects a lot of people. I mean, sometimes it affects me. Um, and in those moments, you have to, have other people in your corner. You have to pray, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to keep the hope of tomorrow alive. Now, unfortunately, I don't know where my photo of. Oh, here it is, right here. So, in saying that, I want to bring up Twitch because this is something that happened recently where we found out that the dancer Twitch, the beloved DJ slash dancer on the Ellen show, I first saw him on So You Think You Could Dance, or I believe that's the title of the show, something to that
Yeah.
effect.
It's something like that. Yeah.
And he just had such a loving personality and energy that was just so positive. And so when we wake up and we find out that he committed suicide by hanging, I mean, even though some people feel like there might have been foul play, people ask themselves, well, if a person this happy, seemed this happy, could do this, like, what is going on?
You
But
said it's hanging. I thought he was shot. He shot himself. You said it's a hanging now?
I wait, I thought it was well, maybe it wasn't that hanging. It was
They- but they don't even know. That whole story is weird. We don't know what really happened to Twitch. That's the thing. I don't know what really happened because they didn't know if he was shot. Because the hotel manager said at first that one of his maids found him dead. They were doing like a wellness check because he failed to check out. Right? They
Oh,
said,
you're right though. He left his home without taking the car. He went to
Mhm.
a hotel, and they were called about a shooting.
But they ain't hear no shots though. According to the people at the scene, they didn't hear a shot. And then they said he got shot, but they couldn't find where the wound was. Don't you think this stuff is strange?
Well, I know they said he had financial problems, and Columbus Short, who played in You Got not You
Yeah, I
Got
know Cloud
Served,
Columbus. Yeah,
the dance movie. Was it You Got Served? No, that was a Mario.
I think it
It's
was Stomp the Yard, Stomp the
Stomp
Yard,
the Yard. He
and
said he
then
was friends
Scandal.
with
Yeah.
him, and he came out like that next day and said he had some gambling issues or financial issues. And people jumped on him in the comments, and I didn't understand why, because I'm like, you guys are speculating. We have somebody here who actually knew him and was friends with him. So why do you have a problem with him probably telling us something that is factual? And maybe because Columbus Short has been a drug addict, they didn't want to believe him. But to me, it was ridiculous. He hasn't ever been a sloppy drug addict. I think that he can articulate himself well. So, but then we find out that Twitch probably did have some financial issues. I mean, what if he had gambling issues? What if he owed somebody more money? But some people are saying he had his money tied up into bad investments. But my thinking, even with that, was okay, you lose your money, you can't get a regular job. The dude on the Cosby Show,
Mm-hmm.
Sandra's husband, he was working at the grocery store. Like
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
celebrity stuff just don't work out. He was dancing for big people. I know he was around J Lo, I believe Beyonce too. But he was in movies. So but depression can get you there feeling like you have no hope. So but when you see the children he left behind, he was married. It's just like, wow. we need, you want answers to that. It just seemed kind of crazy to people.
Well, my thing is about this is interest, because I thought about Twitch and I thought about Ye. Ye allegedly lost $2 billion in a day. He didn't kill himself. Whatever Twitch lost ain't compared to what Ye lost within a day. And Ye had no sense. Then the guy, they say he had his money tied to the FTX cryptocurrency thing. And that guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, has not killed himself. And he lost billions and billions of dollars, allegedly, with that cryptocurrency thing. And I think it was funny because Ellen DeGeneres have a lot of her high-profile friends dying under very questionable circumstances this year. We doing Anne Heche. That's her name, Anne Heche.
Yes, I did. I cover that.
Yeah, that was weird because they said she had no drugs in her system, but they showed a bottle of some sort in her car when she may not even have control of her car.
Run. I'm like, and I was trying to find the silver lining, and when they said they found no drugs in her system, I'm like, but I couldn't believe it. How?
She may not be in control of her car because they could compromise the computer in your car now. They got all types of tricks they could do. She might, Anna DeGeneres might be planning one of the biggest comebacks in showbiz history. That would sound. She's getting rid of her. She's liquidating allegedly her inner circle for whatever reasons. That's how, like with Barbara Walters, Baba died. I think that's a blood sacrifice for T.J. Holmes and Amy Robach.
She's 93, Ron.
I mean, still though. Put a pillow over a person's face. She could have lived. She could have made it to 103, probably. I don't know.
But what?
Nobody dies natural death in showbiz.
Okay, let me just play up devil's advocate. And she was a sacrifice. What kind of sacrifice do I get out of a 93-year-old who's not active?
Because what she did for interracial love, like she had that affair with that powerful U.S. Senator Edward Brooke from Massachusetts. And you said she had a little thing for Farrakhan. It seems in an interview, she got a thing for the brothers. So she came clean about that years ago. So maybe she would approve of this thing with T.J. Holmes and Amy Robach. I don't know, but even if you look at the Twitch boss thing is interesting. I never really cared for Ellen DeGeneres after she left her sitcom back in the day. I love that sitcom she did before she came out the closet. It was a cool sitcom to me growing up in the 90s. But the Twitch boss thing is weird because, let's say if he did kill himself or didn't kill himself, who really cares about investigating this? Why I'm going to care about what happened to Twitch boss? How does it affect me as a person? How does it affect other people that he's gone? And how his wife acted in response, because they say it's a suicide, right? But when it comes to murder suspects, the people that's closest to you are under the most scrutiny. So his wife was cleared of anything, even though she said he normally didn't leave his car when he went out, right? And she been
kind of quiet too. Like I think I thought I would hear more from her. And it was
he had projects, right? He had projects coming out next year that she was talking about he was a part of.
And so Dr. Umar, I think, made some comments about let's investigate her.
I'm not interested. I'm gonna be honest, because it's like if you don't care about what happened to Sam Cooke and Otis Redding, who cares about Twitch boss? I'm sorry. That just me. I'm not horrible.
You know what? This life is making me feel like this, bro. Sometimes I just feel like a nut, and sometimes I don't. But most of the time I do. And
that's like T.J. Holmes talking right there.
Yes, you keep saying T.J. Holmes. So let's talk about it, shall we? Okay, because we all thought that T.J. Holmes and Amy Robach were getting the boot. Okay, they on Good Morning America, and of course Robin Roberts, the Negro who never done no wrong. Right. I don't know. Robin Roberts hasn't done anything to me, and I probably shouldn't say nothing, but it's just like she can do no wrong to nobody. Like she's like the plainest Jane person I know, but she is a great anchor or whatever. But anyway, she was into this controversy because they were saying that she was very angry that they did this, and I understand because your show has a great reputation for a long time, and morning shows, they pick anchors who have a specific type of a particular type of personality, because not everybody can carry a morning show. It takes a special type of person and charisma to do that. And all along we just thought these two were just those type of people, just morning people. But when you go and look at some of the photos, even this, they were very playful with each other. Um,
Mm.
and when you see people in love, sometimes their eye just glistens a little bit more than normal, or um even the way you see her kind of sticking her thumb out at him here, it's like kind of like, I want to be close, but I gotta stay far away a little bit. And
Mhm.
I think he knows he's cute. You know what I mean? Like I think he knows that women find him attractive, and I think making this good money at GMA, it doesn't hurt. And we know his history of kind of cheating on his wife. And just a little fun fact, he dated Chili from TLC
Mm.
for a short time, and she actually said that he wasn't really her type. And I'm gonna say probably because he's a cornball. I don't know. He looks kind of like he would be a cornball, or just not the type of brother that Chili probably want to date. But nice looking guy. But I have to tell you, Run, in television, because I worked in it for many years, it's
Mhm.
it's not it's not abnormal for you to date somebody and in the staff or at the job, because you do long hours in television. And maybe that's an excuse, but that's just what a lot of people say.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people who got it married from working in television together, and that's just what happens. But I think when it's the anchors on TV who do it, it makes it more exciting, because then it's gossip that they can spread around, and it can become a news story. But also, the biggest thing which people are kind of sweeping under the rug, and it kind of signifies to where we are right now, is the fact that these two didn't just cheat, they had a affair, and they are married. Okay, and an affair is way worse than cheating.
Mhm.
And they seem to have really taken to each other. And I picked this photo because we're still wondering, will they get the boot, or will they be on suspension forever? But look at them. When you look back at the photos, they look like they were creeping. Run.
Yeah, so I creep, huh? Like TLC, I see that.
Yes.
But you know, with him, he a cornball looking brother, but he a player. He from West Memphis. I didn't know he was from West Memphis.
Oh, because he from
That's,
Memphis like you, he gotta be a player.
nah, he's like a Terrence Howard. Hey man, hey man, hey man. Nah,
Right,
I'm
with his little
saying.
pretty eyes and stuff. He
Oh
think
yeah,
he's
he like Steph
pretty.
Curry.
Look at him.
Those guys like that, they be the sneakiest guys. They be the player type.
Now that's
He's
true. A Steph
smooth.
Curry, huh?
Oh yeah, he got the baby face look. He probably do the most, man. They'll be
Yeah.
the main ones doing the most. I don't know him like that, but I'm just saying with TJ Holmes, he looks like he's a cornball, but that brother, he's smooth because he got a reputation
Now
for
you
laying the
probably
pipe
think he
on the
moist,
set.
but he making the women moist. See how that works?
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you better get off of
He
him.
making it rain. Not what I'm saying is he had a reputation for messing around with his co-workers. It was well known at the job. His boss, a black woman, she already
Mhm.
knew about his reputation and him getting down with his co-workers, and she was fine with it for the most part. But it must have been her boss that said you gotta let him go because he's a black dude messing with a white woman. It's still America. But the thing about it is, I really do believe if they were homosexual or gay,
Mm.
this would not be a problem, would not be a scandal. They probably would still
Mm.
be working right now. That's how I feel about it.
Well, I want people to leave some comments in the live chat, okay? But I have to say, in television, the thing is, I feel like if this would have stayed hush hush, if nobody would have sent that picture to that tabloid or to that newspaper, magazine, whatever it was, which some people think his wife, TJ's wife, probably did it, but
Not the
it could
husband, not Andrew Shue, Elizabeth
what
Shue's brother.
whoever, but it could have stayed hush hush. I'm gonna tell you all the time. You hear rumblings when you work in at jobs about somebody messing with somebody that was on air, and it'll just stay rumblings until somebody file a report, and it becomes a court case, and then management is forced to deal with it because they paying these people on TV a lot of money, okay, and it's also about image. So they gonna try to protect that. So if it's on the hush hush, okay, of course they got rules to say don't date your coworker, and if you do, you need to go and tell the management. That's how most places work. But once it gets out there, and you got a show like GMA, where, like I said, it's important to keep a certain reputation going, then that's why they have to nip it in the bud. Okay.
Yeah, but why is a double standard? Because Matt Lauer, that dude was like a damn super predator, and people known about it. Even the producers on the show, they knew about his reputation, making women feel uneasy for a long time. You know, the former anchor of one of those morning shows. And TJ Holmes, he got involved with consensual relationships, regardless of the ethics. They were consensual, like him dealing with Amy and other people on his shows, consensual relationships. And he got a type because his women, his ex or his wives are good looking mixed women. Like they got African roots. One parent's an African, one parent is a white person.
Well, I was about to say this. I was about to say, well, this one don't have no African. I mean, now she does.
This is what he wants. This is what he wanted all along.
Now she does, but she did it before.
Man, she got some African in her every other night. Yeah, but
I have to say,
it's Kwanzaa time for her.
Well, at least she's decent, because sometimes brothers go get somebody different and they're not even decent. At least she's cute, and that's Dr. Umar said that's the reason why a lot of people are mad, because he didn't get just somebody. He got somebody that other white men want and desire. And not only that, she was married, and just messing with another man's wife and messing with another woman's husband, it's just trashy. I don't care which way you slice it. It's just bad pizza.
I don't know. I don't have no problem with it, to be honest with you. I think it's weird because people show them true selves. Because you meet women or men, they be married to
You think it's okay?
I think it should be okay that people realize that it's going to happen. Because I meet people all the time that men and women, they've been married for 20 plus years, they still messing around. But it's like an understanding between the spouses. Like, you know, I know he's stepping out, I know she's stepping out. As long as you don't bring no diseases or outside kids home, it's okay. It's not for me to judge the arrangement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it's really cheating or not, but everybody got their breaking point, you know. But as far as that, I think
wait, Ron, you said they stepping out, they agree to step out. Let me tell you something. You step out and I'm stepping in, okay? I am stepping in your ass.
Okay? Right? Okay, if it's not agreed upon, it's different. But if you got an understanding and it gets out, it's not my business. To me, it doesn't bother me that they are messing around. That's normal. Like you said, people go like Tavis Malley. He said, I date on the job because it's convenient. Because all them hours you put in at your work, you ain't gonna meet a lot of people. That's why it is normal for people to meet people on the job and to start a relationship. That's natural. That's how I look at it. I know people think that's weird. I don't think it's weird. I just think that with TJ, with the woman too, she's a cancer survivor. So right now she's like, she beat down cancer and all that stuff. And from my understanding, her daughter was the babysitter for his daughter.
Yeah, and they were really close with each other, like going out together. But they just said today in a headline that her sons posted a picture with the dad and didn't have her in the photo. I don't know what that means, but
you talking about Amy's son?
Yeah, Amy's sons.
Well, he'll be all right. He get over it. Well, you know, or maybe he won't. But it is what it is. Mama did what she did. Your mama is who she is. She always still gonna be your mama, regardless. You know what I'm saying? But better or for worse.
Look, guys, we just getting cracking for Kera Dangerous Talk 2020 year in review. But you know what, Ron? It's been a minute, so I gotta hit them with the what?
Oh, it's do your thing, a theme song.
Yeah, right? The intro. Here we go.
Yes.
And we're back. If you're just now joining us, thank you so much. If you've been here the whole time, we appreciate you. Make sure you continue to talk to us in the live chat. We'll be posting your comments up here. And go ahead and hit the thumbs up, like, share. Hit us up with some comments. Every time women cut their hair, they get on here talking about, so I did a thing. Is that true?
Oh my God. Ooh, that's rough.
I don't like men's no more. I don't like men's no more.
I know that, right? She could do something about the hairline, though. If she was a guy, I'd be all right. It's double standard. If she was a dude, or whatever.
Before we get into anything deeper, I gotta just play this video one more time.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
That's dope. And I'm gonna follow it up with this graphic because y'all don't lost your damn mind with these grocery prices. Okay, eggs are $4. If you look at this chart on Instagram, I don't know if it's correct, but it's just a graphic. I just wanted to read what this person wrote below. They said, even the stamps won't save you. The world goes through cycles as a new world orders are ushered in. Everything goes up in price, yet our pay stays the same. It's time we level up and prepare ourselves and our children. Hashtag inflation. Hashtag 2023 goals. Hashtag mindsets. Are you feeling the pinch in the wallet, Ron?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because like I spent $50, but I only got $20 worth of items. I just did this today. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like some dude waited in line said, "Can I get $10 on pump one?" People said, "What's $10 gonna do? Either $10 or you get some lasagna." You can't get both. It's the Hunger Game. You can't get. You want a burger or you want some gas? You can't get both of them.
Oh, everything is high. It's $30 a corn roll, Ron. That's why when you watch these shows, I have 2 corn rolls. The next time you see me with a full head of corn rolls, you better know I'm balling that week.
I know that's right. Lord have mercy, ridiculous. It's enough to break your soul, though. It is enough to break you. So everybody got their breaking points.
People are stealing. They in the stores. I worked my first retail job. Okay, just a little side hustle KD was doing, and I was embarrassed about it at first. I had never had to work it, but it humbled me in a way, and I'm so appreciative of the work that those people do. And I have to tell you guys, when you go out to these stores, stop placing stuff where it doesn't go. Okay, if you took something out the freezer, don't put it in a clothes section. Okay. Don't do it. Do not do that. It's not nice. But anyway, my whole point is that people come in the store and they steal. You'll see them in the store for about an hour. Okay. I've seen it. And as soon as they get to the door, I notice the person stealing, and you just let them run. Because you don't want to get shot over $50 worth of items for a store who has more money than you probably would ever see. Because I see people talking about, well, why are people just letting folks steal? You've seen the videos. Yeah. People are now going to the mall and stealing big name items, big price items, and they're not even wearing masks anymore. They just going up there taking scissors or just taking whatever they need to take the things down, and they're leaving, and nobody's touching them because people don't want to get shot.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah.
This is a generation where people shoot for nothing. They shoot to kill. The gun used to be the last thing you went and got. You used to start with these, okay? And I'm afraid the hungrier people get, the more desperate people get for things. And some of these people look able-bodied, but you never know how a person's struggling. You don't know if they only got one hot dog on the table, okay? Yeah. And they got to feed a whole family. But you hate to see what it's going to turn into if eggs continue to be $4. And for goodness sakes, everybody knows I love chicken, Ron. I don't know how I don't. Okay, I don't have feathers, okay? And a combo for a 10-piece wing and fry and a lemonade is ridiculous. It's like $25. I would like to say I refuse, but every now and then I'll treat myself.
You got to do that, but it is ridiculous out here. You want to be more understanding and empathetic with people, but people's life is just going down the drain. The quality of life and the value of life is not appreciated, especially among the younger people. But who did they learn that trait from? You know, who taught these folks how to be the way they are? So I mean, it's just I mean, you just got to pray for people. I try to be as kind as possible with people, as compassionate. It's like I can't cry for myself, but I can cry tears for other people. You know, I know how it is, and you don't know what nobody going through. You can't just look at a person and say they okay, because a lot of people ain't all right. as far as the mental goes. Like you said, it's like even the holiday season, it brings out the worst in people. You think around this time you should be more giving and cheerful. Under normal circumstances, they would be, but you gotta look at the last 2 years. It's been a decline in civility these last 2 years. And then look at the quality of the music reflects the times. Or is it that the art dictates the time? I don't know, but the music ain't what it used to be either. And I'm getting older now, so I guess I'm one of the old fuddy-duddy guys, but there's no love in the music anymore. And it's very reflective in the society that we live in.
Man, let me tell you, I've been watching New York Undercover because they brought it back. I believe, is it on Prime? It's on something. And,
Okay.
New York Undercover, Andre Harrell, because I was wondering how they used to get so many good acts on the show. He was a producer on the show. And, it's one of those legendary Dick Wolf productions.
Yes.
Every show, a great artist on that show. But a lot of times they came on there and they sung love songs, R&B songs, blues songs, jazz songs. And I'm like, this show, it was so good. And the music just made it better. And I started having this same conversation that you just brought up about the love missing out of the music. Because even when they talked about something that wasn't about love itself, you still felt soul in the music, which we can feel. Soul can feel like love as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's something that resonates, especially with our people. It's a love language for us. And as you do get older, now, I mean, even for me, I'm listening to hip hop. I have to be in a special mood to listen to some things now, because you just say to yourself, it's just nonsense when you get older and you know better, right? You just can't talk like that every single day. So it's almost like wine. It's got to be the right time. It got to be the day when you want some cheese and some pistachios or something. It's got to be at the right time. And I just want to say, guys, if I wasn't lazy tonight, this is how I would have dressed. Okay, this is how I would have years. Okay,
Lord have mercy, Lordy Jesus.
Thank you. I do.
Happy New Year for me.
Yes, happy 2022. Shut up, Ron. And Shannon Brooks here on Facebook has a question. Is this brother Ron from WeAllbe TV? Are you brother Ron from WeAllbe TV?
I'm supposed to be. This is a deep fake. I'm doing a deep fake. It's me. So like you were saying about people robbing stuff in the store. They got human-like mask now. The mask.
Can I pinch you?
Yeah, I wish you could. You go on and pinch me. Do whatever you want to do me.
Never mind.
I'm just saying. No, I'm saying. They wearing real human life masks now. They made masks that like real human faces now.
Oh yeah.
So they may be wearing masks, right? This is what's so crazy about everything. So you got kids that 12 years old that's shooting people. I'm in Memphis. You got kids that's carjacking at 12 that got guns, like Jesse James or Billy the Kid. It's crazy out here, man. Like the people start shooting back now. The people that getting carjacked, they start shooting back at the kids now.
Yeah, because the kids ain't gonna be kids no more. When they start shooting folks, if they shoot people like that, everybody crazy. You don't even want to know about the kids that I see on the train. Okay, and I'm in a major city. And the way the children are talking, and they can be in front of an elder and they still don't show any respect. There's no respect out here. I'm just hearing them say the D word, the P word. I want to kill this person. And no respect for nobody. Like, at least when I was growing up, we may have talked dirty, but we did it amongst each other. But if we saw an adult, we got quiet, okay? We didn't have the nerve to continue to talk reckless in front of somebody who could be my mother or my grandmother, my grandfather, or my father. We just didn't do it. We had enough respect to respect ourselves. And in DC, a month or so ago, the woman on the train wanted to just tell the young black guys to stop using so much profanity, and they beat her down.
Yeah, I be thinking about how long you want to live in a world like this. It's gonna get worse. You know what I'm saying? You talking about what they did to that woman, but imagine 20 years from now, because these kids got kids themselves. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's funny. I'm 42, but I got friends I went to high school with. They got their grandparents now, and some of I know people that had kids at 13. And they ain't got in the club with they daughter or whatever. It's like, it's weird because Big Mama don't exist no more.
No, because Big Mama is 30 years old.
That's right.
Okay.
Ain't no big mama difference.
And somebody made a point. If you keep giving your child to the grandmother to take care of, when you become the grandmother, you won't even know how to take care of your grandchild because you gave it to your grandmother too long. And that's something to think about.
Well, it's a failure on the older generations though with the kids situation, because like, you know, I can't blame the kids. I can't blame Frankenstein for being Frankenstein. I blame Dr. Frankenstein for creating Frankenstein, because Dr. Frankenstein is the real monster. So it's not the kids that are the result of the lack of care. It's like, well, you Dr. Mutulu Shakur, Tupac's stepfather, just got out of prison finally, and he helped Tupac do the Thug Life code. We know Thug Life mean the hell you give little infants, elves, everybody or everyone. So we don't have a code no more. There's no code to this. It's like even how it's like even now in this with the women, man. Like I look at, you know, we talk about the rap music. Like I'm from Memphis, this Glorilla phenomenon. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I just don't get it. I do not get it. I'm not impressed, and it's no knock against her, but to me, it's like, you know, I love Gangsta Boo and all them growing up, but it's different now. I like, you know, I look like Little Kim when she looked like Little Kim, and it's just everything's so different. It's like everything's overexposed. Like people talking about so and so an agent. The real COINTELPRO is social media. The real MK Ultra is social media. How they mind controlling us, not just the young people, but everybody. Is under some type of mind.
I have to log out because social media, it's just like crack. You just as soon as you get up,
you're
supposed to pray when you get up, but you searching for your phone. It's clockwork.
Yeah, social media is a new religion. That's right.
It's like, is it a new religion? Well, white supremacy is an old religion. So the religions that we have is crazy. And speaking of social media, if we're talking about the year in review, Elon Musk was everywhere. He bought Twitter for some billions of dollars. It's not even worth that. I don't even know how Twitter makes its money. I'm guessing that he wants to play his hand by having all this data, because you know data and having that internet access is very valuable. And we see he keeps himself out there. He makes his tweets and people follow those. And he tried to bring Trump back, and him and Kanye going back and forth. And he's slightly entertaining, but he kept himself in the news this year. What do you think about Elon Musk, Ron?
He's like an upgrade of Vince McMahon from WWE. You know what I'm saying? Like you bring him back the heels and he's the hero or whatever. But Ye and Trump, they all in on it with Elon. Elon's not impressive to me. He's a subsidized billionaire. That means the government gave him billions of dollars to be who he is, which is weird. He's not impressive. He doesn't, I mean, like you talking about Tesla, real Tesla, you look at who he was versus the company that he named after him. It's totally two different things. You know, Tesla wanted to create like a free energy for the world to consume. And they got rid of Tesla, but you know, it was Donald Trump's uncle, who was a government scientist, longtime MIT professor named John Trump, who was given the job to look into Nikola Tesla's notebooks when he passed away back in January 1943 to get those secrets. It's like with Trump thing, people don't even understand, like the same day that he released his baseball cards, right? On NFTs, it was the same day that the government supposed to came clean with the Kennedy assassination. They're supposed to release the last batch of files from the Kennedy assassination. And nobody talks about that because they have yet to. They're supposed to release those 5 years ago by law. They made a law back in 1992 saying that the government had to release all their files pertaining to the JFK assassination. Now you got to ask yourself, what did Donald Trump have down in Mar-a-Lago that they was afraid that he might release to the public? It has probably got something to do with the JFK thing, because when you start realizing this system that we dealing with, the same system that got rid of JFK, or president, is the same one responsible for killing Dr. King. And we don't talk about this stuff. It's just weird to me. It's like I'm in a city, right? We just had our water boil advisory lifted. You know, we had that winter blizzard, whatever everybody had for most of the country, right? It knocked out our power and our water infrastructure, where they said you got to boil the water. They said you could take a shower with the water, but you can't consume the water. And I'm thinking to myself, ain't the skin the largest organ on the body?
And it's
How is
gonna
it okay
seep
with my
in.
inner bed exposed and my insides not be bothered? But then, like, why I'm gonna boil the water anyway? Because my thing, I didn't boil the water. Matter of fact, I just cooked. I washed my dishes, but when I wash my skillet, won't the heat kill it when I cook my food? Or the heat from the dishwasher? But what have they been doing to our water? It's not just Flint, Michigan, or Jackson. It's the whole damn country.
It ain't.
I mean, they kill you one way or the other. I'm just saying they're killing you one way. People say get plastic bottled water, right? See, the plastic's killing you.
That's true.
So I mean, what's the point? They killing us anyway. Well, I eat vegan. Well, what they using to grow the vegetables with is killing you.
Right. So they got those videos of Chinese people painting the vegetables. You seen that? It's like you can't trust nothing.
Eat your chicken wing.
You better do what you was told to do in the first place, and that's just pray, because you don't know what you taking in.
Yeah, what about the burgers though? Everywhere I look at, they say they use 100% beef. What, grown in the lab? Everybody ain't using the actual beef. You can't tell me everybody using real like cow moo beef. It gotta be grown in the lab somewhere. Yeah, but everybody say they using that. McDonald's, Wendy's, somebody lying. I agree with you. But you don't know what you're taking in. That's why I say I'm okay to get exposed to people. Like, you ever go to a place, you order some food, and you feel disappointed because you see the people fixing your food?
Yes.
How they look. You wonder they wash their hands and
right. Yes.
You know, I mean, I ain't trying to judge, but I say you need them germs too. You
judge.
Well, you need those germs. I need to be exposed to germs. I say I just like I said, take a chance with the tap water. We already the mutants though. We like the X-Men. We already mutants anyway.
And sometimes the food from the nastiest places taste the best, unfortunately.
Yeah, like the hamburger place. I always check a hamburger place restroom before I even order, because the nastier the restroom, the better the food, because the flavor, you know, it got to be good for the breath to be that nasty.
We used to have a corner store, and it was dirty in there sometimes, but the hot dogs there were fantastic.
Yeah, it was good seasoning, right? It never cleaned anything.
Little nasty place. He said a little seasoning.
Yeah, like you go to a chicken place, like you're with the gas station and got food. Some of the best food be at the gas station.
It does, and I know it's nasty. I don't even like to think about it. You know what? Just like I don't like to think about that food run, I don't like to think about sometimes the future.
Terminator, I Am Robot, you know, it's like everything's happening now. The movie.
Can you imagine one of those coming after you run? How you gonna escape that?
You don't, if you know, it's over for us, man.
Now I have to be honest. I went to a Checkers the other day, and a robot took my order, and I got the freshest sandwich I done had a long time from Checkers. So,
well, you know, but you got a lot of places like that, especially out west. They got a fully automated restaurant. Look at you go to Walmart. They got a lot of self-checkout now. They trying to get rid of artificial intelligence is taking over. Yes, and Elon Musk have a fearful. He's fearful about AI getting too smart for its own good. He's fearful of that.
What happened? You say artificial intelligence is taking over, but what happened to our intelligence, human intelligence? Okay, I want to bring up segue in because we only got a little while left here, but Sean Combs, P. Diddy, what else he been called? Puff Daddy. Now he's calling himself Love. Him and Carisha, they've been all over the news this year. You see, that's his new baby mother back there. He just had a new baby with this lady, and that was the breaking news just of late. But the reason I want to bring them up, not only because they've been on the news, but because Carisha, the one over here to the right, okay, look like she's saying we go together bad. Okay, that's what she said. But P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, he said that they are dating. Okay, they are just dating. But I feel like Carisha, she makes herself look kind of foolish, and okay, she got a podcast show out of this arrangement. Okay, that's on Revolt. But as a woman, it's like what is she in her 20s, and she's dating Puffy, who I think is he in his 50s?
Oh, he in his 50s, all right.
Yeah, 54 or something like that. I believe he's. So yeah, I'm gonna look it up. I
53.
believe I believe he's that old, but
He was born 1969. Yeah.
I mean, the
53.
last month and a half, he's been seen with about 3 or 4 different women. Then we get this baby news. He's 53. And it's just like, okay, they tried to say they weren't dating exclusively. But I don't care what kind of what you get your mouth to be fixed to say. When you're a woman, you really don't want to be played all over town like that. You feel foolish, you look foolish. And it's just not a good look. But I guess if you want to get a show out of it and you get free trips out of it for some women, that's enough. What you think, Ron?
I think clout rules everything around me. Cream. That's the new
Mhm.
cream. Clout rules everything around me. Get the likes up, y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just like P. Diddy is weird. P. Diddy is a interesting creature of the swamp. Because you talked about Andre Harrell earlier. That's his mentor, right?
Yes.
He started at Uptown.
Uptown Records.
Yeah,
Yep.
Andre Harrell, his assistant, his special assistant was Kim Porter, one of P. Diddy's baby mamas, right?
Mhm.
Heavy D, one of his close friends. I'll Be Sure. In that circle, only him and Al B. Sure still around. And Al B almost lost his life. He just got that kidney transplant.
I don't know, but he looked bad. He
But
was
you remember
down
like
for the count.
when he had a meltdown on Instagram or something like a couple years ago after Kim Porter thing? Like he
Yeah.
was crying because Puffy raised his son. So Puffy is he is a product of Clyde Davis. Look at how many people around Clyde Davis that's passed on that he's making money off of. That
And I'm
Whitney Houston
still
movie
mad
just
that
came out.
he had that party when Whitney Houston
Right, when she
died, and they
dead.
continued.
And she
How
was
you
butt
gonna
naked
tell me
upstairs, right?
that she
Butt
wanted
naked.
that party to be continued? How you gonna tell me that?
But Clive is I'm what?
That's a
Look,
whole
Clive
nother one.
there's a lot of people dead around Clive Davis he's making money off of. There's a lot of people dead around Puffy that he's making money off of to this day. I think Biggie's publishing is in one of his son's names. You think about the gripes of Mapes, and think about what happened with Shine over 20 years ago. J Lo and P Diddy were guilty as what? They should have faced as much prison time as Shine, if not more so. But Diddy is known for sacrificing people, allegedly.
Well, so what would make a 54-year-old just he can't settle down? When Kim Porter died, he said that he realized that she was the one basically, and that he should have done better by her. But then now you want to go out and you play in the field. I guess when you got money, people saying he got money way above our pay grade, but to me, people give money way too much power, and they let it take over good common sense. And it's just like, when are you gonna get sick of just giving your stuff away like a free glass of water? And there's no way Carisha didn't feel hurt by that. And now they're trying to say, oh well, she knew before he announced that he had a baby, that she knew. Well, maybe she did, but to be going back and forth with like DJ Ackerman on Twitter and everything, why you have to talk so loud if you're okay? Because Carisha, we know what you really want to do with the baby.
I mean, but it's the clout. I mean, it's the fame bug. I mean, she's okay with it. She made her peace because she's getting exposure. She's getting her name trending and stuff like that. People don't care. It's different now because the music has changed and the people change.
Morals don't matter. There's no moral compass.
No.
Not even with gangsters. That's what I hear. Like, they used to be able to be a gangster, be able to be in the streets, but still follow some type of code. And that's just out on every job, every level.
That's by design, though. Like they got rid of it's just everything's done. It's not conspiracy when it's reality. It's not conspiracy when it's reality. Because you look at the breakdown of the black family has been a concentrated effort for the last 60 years, and this is where we at now. 60 years ago, black people were some of the most married people in the country. Now look at it now. It's like then you look at, you look at the fact that kids are beating down old people or elders in mass transit systems and stuff. Why should they respect these people? Because we sold our people out for some trinkets and stuff, men and women. And now we pay
cash hold, money, cash hold. What? Money, cash. We really let that be our mantra, and we really let that get into our psyche, and that's and that's the problem.
They make it
Now,
so catchy to be demonic, though. They make it catchy and fashionable to be so demonic, you know.
this is what we gotta segue into this.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Justice for Shanquella. I hope I don't mispronounce her name. But
Mm-hmm.
this was another story that was everywhere. Young lady went to Mexico, Cabo, with some friends, but she doesn't come back to the States with them.
Mm-hmm.
She was found murdered. But what made this even worse is that when that video came out, Ron,
Mm-hmm.
that video of her in that hotel room.
Mm.
Ron, do you remember seeing the video?
I can't forget it. Once you see it, you can't forget it. I can't anyway.
We found out she was drunk in that
Mm-hmm.
video, and we see somebody attacking her, and we know that somebody was filming it on the phone.
Right.
Then we find out, and we hear people saying hit, why you aren't hitting back, hit. And we
Mm-hmm.
find out those are supposedly supposed to be her friends, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
then we find out that the 911 people, the emergency responders, tried to give her more help, but her friends, I heard that a friend said no, she's okay, or something like that, or they just tried to cover up everything. But why would you set somebody up like that? How evil do you have to be? Even if you have a disagreement with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
how cruel can you be to set somebody up in a trap like that? I hope they put those people under the jail, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Under the jail.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give her a fighting chance, and it was just cruel. And for what?
Mm-hmm.
Was it jealousy? Because I know she had her little entrepreneurship going back on. I believe she was from North Carolina.
Yep. Okay. Now.
And so this story, I saw lots of people talking about it, made people rethink friendships. Who can you trust? Your enemies really are close to you. It made people remember that
Mm-hmm.
every smiling face isn't really a friendly person, okay?
Mm-hmm.
How did this story affect you this year, Ron?
Didn't affect me. Just confirm some things because I've been there, done that. I just survived the encounters, because you don't really have too many friends, smiling faces like the Undisputed Truth song, right? But the thing about it is, you should be more of a friend to yourself. Sometimes it's good to go dolo or solo, whatever they call it. And she had a lot going for her, but she probably didn't have a lot of self-confidence in herself. Now her pictures tell a different story. Like you look at that picture right there, very radiant, vivacious, confident looking woman, but you look at the videos and stuff like that, the fact that she wouldn't even protect her own temple, her body, from her so-called frenemies says a lot to me. And the fact that these people could break bread with her and look at her parents' eye and tell a lie about what happened to their daughter says a lot about society. Because we don't really have friends. If the person staring back at you from the mirror ain't your friend, then you don't have friends. Because so-called friends are like the weather, they change, And some of us learn the hard way, some of us don't learn it at all.
You so right about that, Ron. And I just brought up one of the headlines from Daily Mail that dropped back in November, where it says North Carolina woman Shanquella Robinson's death is reclassified as a homicide as feds join probe after brutal video emerges of her being beaten by a friend before they claim she died of alcohol poisoning.
But you think about, I'm thinking about Tamla Horsford down in Forsyth County, Georgia, the black woman at that party with the football ladies, the white ladies, and she's the only black person there.
Oh,
They found her dead.
yeah.
It was
But that's
Forsyth County,
scary to
Georgia,
me.
right?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest with you, and you're not racist for this. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not going nowhere where I'm the only person that look like me late at night and spending the night with nobody. I'm sorry. And they live in the woods too. Hell Nah. I remember for my senior year party, the white people and the black people finally hung out together, everybody. And we went somewhere in the woods. And the white people, I never even knew they had this. I was just like, why they never showed us this before? They had like some stage in the woods made of wood where it was like up high. And it was people up there playing guitar and doing talent shows. And I'm just like, this is the most fun we had these whole 4 years. Where have these white kids been hiding this, you know? But my point is, when it was time to go, people were finding people to take a ride with. And I remember it was one black girl who I was friends with, but my friend wasn't friends with her, and they didn't want to take her with us. And I argued with them until they put her in a car. I was like, I'm not leaving another black girl, young girl, by herself. I knew that at that age because my mom had taught me. I know the stories. We're in the woods. We with people. We, you know, anything can happen.
That's right.
And I was frantic about it. I even said I wasn't gonna leave unless she left, because my thinking was it's better to have two people there, you know, instead of just one female by herself. But I argued so much with my friend that they ended up taking her.
That's good. You did that. That's excellent.
Yeah, because we have to be accountable for each other. But I guess in saying that, I'm just like, for somebody to do that to somebody, man, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
You think about Natalie Holloway. What happened to her? How come everybody else came home and Natalie Holloway didn't come home? You know, I'm talking about that Ruba thing.
Yeah. I watched that.
White girl from Alabama. They left her. I mean, why her friends leave her with some strangers at the bar?
Yes.
What is that about? I mean, you don't really have friends, man. I mean, you gotta be a friend to yourself. And like, it's like the Robinson thing. I feel sorry for what happened to her, but what about Mumia Abu-Jamal? No, free him. You know what I'm saying? He's still alive. He been What about Ashada Shakur? Bring her home. Get that bounty off her head. You know, it's weird how people get behind certain stories.
I don't even think she want to come here.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Is you think George Floyd was a freedom fighter? You think he was Malcolm X the way they people? Oh, it's George Floyd. They can't forget about him. And I mean, come on. I mean, I'm getting like an old cranky black man. This is what I'm coming to. Like, who cares? George Floyd was not committed to the struggle while he was alive. He was struggling to breathe
and struggling,
you know, but he didn't do nothing for. I mean, what did he do for black people while he was, or for humanity?
Well, apparently he wasn't that great of a person. I think he might have hit women sometimes and did drugs. I mean, not that you're not a good person, you don't do drugs, but let's just say he has some issues.
But what all this energy though? Like, why is all this energy for people like a George Floyd? Even with Quilla, I ain't knocking her. I want her to get justice, but then you got like she was Rosa Parks. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just out of touch. Like even with the Breonna Taylor thing, I always bring up what happened to that lawyer.
Out and touch somebody's hand.
I don't know. It's just weird. It's just strange.
Run, reach out. If you
reach it out, reach it out.
Reach out and touch.
I think black folk, we want to lose. We love losing though. We like to lose. We don't want to win. We don't like winning. We just like to have sympathy and people cry for us. Oh, cry for me. I'm so black and blue.
I know somebody that likes to win, and some people may say he's losing, but he probably beg to differ.
Because the same people that try to blackball me forgot about two things: my black balls.
Yeah, yay for 2024. Yes,
his black balls. Kanye West is a polarizing figure. I think we might have heard about him more than Nick Canyon's nutsack. Okay, we heard about Kanye West because he angered those people and he kept speaking his mind. He said that white lives matter. He said that his I don't know. He was going back and forth with Pete Davidson. Ron, what didn't Kanye do? I don't know. He did a little bit of everything. He lost some money. He
lost
did
$2 billion and probably some more. He didn't kill himself though.
No, he did, but they say he's missing right now.
Yeah, it is strange because I was wondering too. So he is actually missing. He probably think of a master plan. Kanye is very strategic. I know people think he's not strategic. The man is brilliant. He was raised and cultivated and incubated for this moment in time.
I'm sorry. Look at this comment, yo.
They're polarized, bipolar. I mean, he's only crazy because we've been taught. Think about how crazy we are. Like I tell you about the water. Like people say it's okay to take a shower in it, but you just can't drink it. But your organ, the largest organ in your body is your skin. Kanye is only crazy because you refuse to believe that your reality is the conspiracy. The
Wow.
real conspiracy is your reality because Kanye is speaking truth. And the reason why he's still alive is because he's naming names. Dick Gregory used to say the reason why I can't keep secrets is how you stay alive. People will tell Dick Gregory secrets, but he told the whole world. So what's the point of killing Dick Gregory when everybody else know now? What Ye is doing, he's letting people know what Michael Jackson let people know, what Prince, but he's naming the names. That's why they can't touch him right now. He can't die in a plane accident like Otis Redding. You can't OD like a Prince or Michael, whatever, because he already let you know they're trying to put him in the loony bin for speaking facts. And you may not like the messenger, but you can't dispute the message.
Woo! Oh, well, okay, Ron. Yeah. And I like Dr. Umar said, because I saw his Breakfast Club interview, and I'm not a big fan of Dr. Umar, but he said some okay stuff lately. He said, I may not agree with everything Kanye West said, or he maybe didn't articulate it the best, but I could feel what he was trying to do because he went against a group that has done us horribly, notoriously, even though we're not supposed to talk about it because we would be reprimanded. Now, how about that?
The only reason we're going to get reparations is because we can't name their names now. You can't talk about you want reparations if you can't name the party that have done you a grievance. Since we can name their names and their organizations and stuff, now we can get reparations. Now reparations is very real.
Right.
And watch how many white people going to say they black now.
Say that again. Who going to say they black?
White people, so-called white people. Toilet paper people. They're gonna claim white like they did them Indians back in the day. That Dawson Roll, whatever. Dawson Roll, the $5 Indians.
I gotta merge this all together, and you hitting a great point. But check this out. Let me move this out the way. Kyrie Irving donates $65,000 to Shanquella Robinson's GoFundMe. Okay, so I know we kind of skipped all over the place, but I just wanted to mention that because we had Kanye West so that we could get Kyrie Irving, and I did a show about it this year. Kyrie Irving was called out for being anti-Semitic. Okay, he was called out by the owner of the NBA team, the Brooklyn Nets, Joseph Tsai, who has his own problems and doing some crazy things with China as far as women are concerned, I believe. So I don't know how he can even point a finger at somebody. Okay, he probably needs to be investigated. But all because brother posted a link to a movie on Amazon called Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America by Ronald Dalton Jr. And if we didn't know about the movie before, Ron, we certainly knew about it after Kyrie, and it was a group of people that were after him, the Jewish community, because they felt like him posting that movie was anti-Semitic. And they showed up at the NBA games, and they wanted to be right there in those very expensive seats to let him know that they are an oppressed group of people.
Interesting. Very oppressed to me. Yeah. Very impressive. I'm
just giving you what I know.
I was thinking, have I ever known or met a homeless Jewish person, a poor Jewish person? I went to school with a lot of Jewish people, but I don't know any poor Jewish people to my understanding. But there's still you could buy Adolf Hitler's autobiography on Amazon. You know that, right?
You say what?
You can buy Adolf Hitler's autobiography on Amazon.
You can buy a lot of things on Amazon. That ain't gonna stop.
Right. So, but why are they not boycotting the fact that they selling Hitler's autobiography on Amazon? They've been selling it for years. But my thing about the movie Hebrews to Negroes is that it's supposed to be so woke, but keep on putting me to sleep. I try to get through it. The first 20 minutes, I'm falling asleep.
Run.
It's so hard to get through that movie. 3 hours. I can't get through it.
Look, I want to support the brother, but I'm talking about. I heard they said Jason Williams from ESPN that he watched it. I'm like, I don't know how, because me and you, we like historical pieces.
Yeah,
and
but
bruh, I got me some good ass sleep that day.
I guess it's sticking to your mind, your brain.
Bruh, I got me some soul food eating, rain on a tin roof eating, sleep that day, brother. I had me some slobber sleep, baby. I got the flu. Mama just gave me some rubber tussin. I just had a nice bath type of sleep. We went out with the kids all day long to Six Flags and Disney World and walked all over the park type of sleep, Ron. That movie will put you to sleep, Ron. I died and woke back up. That movie was just too run.
Oh my God.
I was like, when is this film gonna get started?
Right. It's like, oh my God. You ain't lying, man. Maybe it's sticking to your brain. That's the trick. You fall asleep and all the information going to your brain. I used to sleep with books underneath my pillow before I had to take a test the next day, thinking that the information was seep into my mind some type of way. Maybe that's how it works. That's why it's so effective. I don't know.
If there was something anti-Semitic said, I didn't catch it because I couldn't get to it. And I hate to do the brother like that, but I'm sure he's made some good money because
right on. I'm glad he did, but evidently, anytime something is called anti-Semitic, it means it's this with truth. It seems some type of truth, some inconvenient or unpopular or tabooish type of truth that it don't want nobody to know about. Because how is it anti-Semitic when you tell them the actual facts of something?
It's because you a Negro and you ain't supposed to speak your mind.
Okay, what it is. Okay.
And money is power, and we don't own enough things to be able to speak our mind. We don't control the businesses that allow us to be able to have our voice. And so until we can control some of those things, we'll continue to be reprimanded.
That makes sense. So we all just slaves by another name. Because Kanye never said he wasn't a slave. He's free now. He's free like Nat Turner, I guess. But he never said, because that new slave song, he called himself a slave. But why are people so triggered by Kanye? It's just funny to me how people get so triggered by these celebrities and talking heads. They don't bother me. Like Akon doesn't bother me. I think Akon's hilarious.
Oh, I want to talk about Akon. I didn't bring his picture in, but Akon, had the nerve to say that Africans perform better than Black people. But the thing is that with Akon, he came out, he's from here. He grew up in Florida, is what I was told. And you grew up around Black people who I found out, had his back and looked out for him, and he blew up over here. So it's just like, how dare you try to make a diss? And maybe you may say it wasn't a diss, but why say it at all? When you know the relationship between the two of us, I guess. And I just screw Akon. He's one of these men who think they can have 15, 20 wives, and people can say whatever, it was in the Bible, but when it was in the Bible, those people had those many wives for a reason. They weren't just out here doing it to say my nut sack is big and I can have 20 wives and I think it's cute. That was reasons why back then it worked. And people just want to do stuff because they just morally inept. It's not because they really love the person. Or if you can say, well, this is why is this, then maybe I could understand. But people just want to do anything. But screw Akon. Who cares? His voice is boring anyway. It has to be a particular song that I can even care to even want to listen to him. He thinks that Nick Cannon having all those kids is fine. And the most ignorant thing he said is, if he couldn't go to a recital, what's the big deal? The big deal is that a father just doesn't provide. He gives his time as well. And this is a grown man who's saying this. So, that's how I feel about it.
I mean, I think a lot of people feel like how you feel, but I know I was getting some text messages from people that say he just triggers me. I said, I don't understand. That means it's something about you. It's not him, it's you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like that can have that type of control over your emotions. It's not really Akon. Now, he's like he was an anchor baby. I know he was born. They say he was born in St. Louis and he was raised somewhere else. But my thing is this, is like with Akon, so what? If he really feels this way about Nick Cannon, so what? I mean, if he really feels this way about Black artists, we know the truth. What's the African version of Aretha Franklin or James Brown or Sam Cooke or Marvin Gaye. You know the Philo, Philo Kuti. What is his name? Was an artist. You got a couple of people. Hugh Masekela, who just passed away not too long ago. But you know, you look at our contribution to the world. I mean, you just had who just passed? Tom Bell, the songwriter from Jamaica. You know what I'm talking about? He contributed to the Philly sound, like the dramatics, the stylistics, and all them. All them great songs from back in the day, them love songs.
No, I got it. I just passed by the women Philly greats on the Spotify. It's a playlist. So I feel what
yeah,
you're
we
saying.
just lost Tom Bell, but he's from Jamaica, but he had respect for Black American music. He wrote some real good. No, I always love my mama, stuff like that. The dramatics and stylistics and stuff. Be my girl. You know that sound from back in the day. But like, you know, Black Americans always upgrade these immigrants, these Black immigrants. Marcus Garvey was a nobody in Jamaica. He had to come here to be elevated.
That's my point, Ron. That's my point. They get over here and they want to act like they better than us and then say we're being mean to them. And Akon tried to say, well, Black Americans sag their pants. Well, you were growing up in Florida, Akon. You want to tell me you never sagged your pants? And I don't like sagging pants like that. But like, don't try to be funny, dude. Like, you know you did it too. We know how Florida gets down.
Yeah, but Akon, I like Akon back in the day, but he don't compare to like a Nate Dogg when it comes to singing hooks and stuff like that. Oh,
hell no.
Nate Dogg on different levels. But I'm saying, like, with Akon lucky he had Black artists co-sign him. Over here, Black American artists. It wasn't Africa that made Akon.
Thank you. It was
Black
us
America made Akon.
And that's the point. Yeah. And that's the point. And it's just like they want to choose and pick when they want to be Black. That's why I didn't know why what's his name? Ancho. I used to work with him, how he gonna make a book called something about honest conversations with a Black man, because it's like sometimes Africans want to be Black men and sometimes they just want to be Africans. Can you really tell my Black brother over here about his journey? I don't know, because y'all pick and choose when y'all want to be. Y'all so quick to tell us we ain't got no culture and this and that. And not him, I'm just personally just saying, like it just depending on which one you get. It's like sometimes they want to make it clear to you that they so much different than us. That's why, even though I thought Wakanda was a nice little thing, a movie, I mean, really, Killmonger was more who Black people should have been cheering for when you follow the story correctly. It was another situation where it's just Africans against Black people. So so that's my issue with it. I didn't rush out to go see Wakanda 2 because my thing is I've been about Black people coming together. I didn't need Wakanda. And so for Negroes to be rushing to the movies and want to go put on their little African prince to see a movie, that's cute. But what do you guys do after? What do you do after George Floyd is gone? Negroes, they always up in arms when a person's being shot or when the trauma's first intact, but once we put a little bit of alcohol to the wound, they act like everything's fine, and it's not. It's still a bubbling mess underneath the Band-Aid. And until people can understand that we are Wakanda within, but only if we can unify, that don't really impress me, Ron.
Yeah.
So
they should brought back. No, you make great points, because they should brought back Killmonger as the new Black Panther. I don't see what been a big problem with it.
I mean, yeah, like you're right. I mean, bring back somebody, but the whole point is that I'm not finna get excited about just a movie when folks don't want to get together in real life. Like that don't excite me that much. You get together for 60 minutes over some popcorn. Okay, great. What about what's next?
There is no what's next. It's just a bunch of BS. We like to do all this. Like people say, get on code. What code? What y'all talking about?
Because it's a problem if I can't tell a young Black child on the train to stop cursing and saying puss and saying dick, and I can't tell them to stop, to be quiet without fear they're gonna shoot me in the head. I'm afraid of our own children, and it's sad. It's sad.
Very much so. But they looking for love. But what they said, they'll burn down the village to feel the warmth that they didn't get when they was a kid. You know, they'll come back to burn the village down, right? So this is where we at right now, where people just allow their kids to do anything they want to do without any consequences or repercussions. Then you got a lot of grown people. They want to take advantage of these kids too. They've been exploiting these kids, these young people, all types of ways, So like it's the hate that hate produce.
Yes,
That
hate produce.
Yeah.
And just speaking of hate, because we talk about 2022, and we'll go over time because we got to try to keep this under 2 hours. But Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, this news was everywhere. I got so sick of hearing about this case. Many people tried to say this was black man against black woman. I got sick of that too. This is just Meg Thee Stallion against Tory Lanez for people. You don't have to make it about all black people. Do we want Megan to get justice if he did it? Yes, we just want her to get justice, period. She was shot, but we have to go through the evidence. We have to see what's what, okay? Many people, if you don't know the case, you got to look it up. We're not going to sit here and break down the whole case, but Tory Lanez was believed to have shot Megan. A lot of people don't believe that he didn't do it. She had a friend there. Some people thought she did it. She didn't get tested for gun residue on her hands or anything. They didn't find, it was inconclusive as far as Tory was concerned. They didn't find evidence of gun residue. And I was told gun residue stays on for a couple of days. So what's up with that? And I stopped following along the case because it just became too much. It was a circus. I was sick of it, Ron.
I didn't really follow the case until I saw his daddy do what he did. And shout out to Tory Lanez's daddy. He could never deny his son. They look like clones, like Ja Rule and his kid. Yeah. Never be denied. But I like what he did. I wish if I got in trouble like that, I want my daddy to do. My dad would never do nothing like that for me, let alone return my calls. That's another story. But that thing is weird. He should never got convicted of all those charges. It just don't. It's just strange.
Strange, right?
I listened to what people are saying about it. Then I heard what Tory did with the NFTs, how he sold his album and all this stuff. He was changing the game, and this is what they do. Because, like, I believe it was a conspiracy from higher powers to eliminate Tory Lanez because he was becoming too independent in terms of how he was doing his music.
And the brother,
he didn't want to sound like Rock Nation.
He a lot more talented than a lot of people. He can sing, and his music.
He was running things 2 years ago. He was like everywhere 2 years ago, and then this happened. And I like Meg too, but her character is questionable though, because you mess around with your friends, man. Y'all both sleeping with Tory, and I believe Kelsey did something that she got protection for. I think Kelsey was the one that probably shot Meg. I don't know, but I believe it was her. And then whatever reason, Tory just took it.
And I don't see why can't you just. I keep hitting myself with the mic. We've been talking about a lot of
domestic abuse. Domestic
but what's the big deal with just testing out the people who was there? Test her to see if she had anything on her hand. What's the big freaking deal? But I want to show you a clip of Tory Lanez's dad after the verdict came down that he was guilty.
It's not over. God does not lose. Never. And even though we've come to this juncture, trust me, you will see that our God does not fail. This is not the I know that this is wickedness. This district attorney, Miss Kathy Todd.
That was proud. That's great TV right there, Lord.
Yes.
Should be nominated for an Oscar for some reason. I think it's a movie. It's not real.
Well, but you said that you don't think he did it, right? So his
I think it was set up. Cause you think about Rock Nation. Cause Jay-Z got one of his business partners. She got pardoned by Donald Trump. You know that, right? That Perez girl that Tory Lanez's father talked about. She was snitching on the cartels allegedly. And, Jay-Z and Rock Nation pop up everywhere in the last couple of years. Whether it be Prince, Prince had that deal with Tidal with his music. Think about Nipsey Hussle. He supposed to met with Rock Nation.
Wow.
That week, you think about Jay-Z. I mean, who is Jay-Z? Who's behind Jigga? And Jigga's one of my favorite rappers of all time. He my number 2. And I know people don't like it, but Jigga, he had everything when it came to his flow and all that. But who is Jay-Z representing? Why is it that his name and his organization keep on popping up in these curious coincidences?
Let me tell you something. He's a good rapper. He used to have whole stadiums chanting calling him Hova. I would never call a mayor man Hova. Never. God complex. I couldn't do it. So that ought to tell you something right there. Anybody who can have the gall to do that. Believe whatever, is that called a conspiracy theory? Some people may believe that that's really what happened. Jaguar Wright, isn't that her name? The one who always
Jaguar Wright. She be having some good information. I
now
like
she's
her.
coming out saying, if you look at Jay-Z's career, if you look at how he's gotten ahead, he just always seemed to be lucky. Is a person really just that lucky when people show up dead around them all the time, or when this goes awry? Is that really luck, or is that something else? Go ahead.
No, Puffy and Diddy, they crossed paths, right? Because they both benefited from Biggie being knocked off the scene. Jay-Z was elevated when Biggie got knocked out, and Puffy got what he got. But the thing about it is, even with Aaliyah, you got to ask the question about why was Aaliyah done the way she was done? Because she was passed around like a blunt. Jigga had some, R. Kelly and Dame Dash and some other people. And she was introduced to them people when she was 12 by her own uncle. Her blood uncle introduced her to R. Kelly on a platter when she was 12, allegedly.
Well, sometimes we got to question our own family, Ron. And you bring me to a nice segue, because the tragic death of Takeoff from the Migos, which seemed like it could have been avoided, but because of hot tempers, he met his untimely demise. And everybody who knows Takeoff said he was the chillest one in the group, the calmest one, the most talented rapper out of the three of them. And as we know, I did a show about it. Quavo and Takeoff, they had separated from doing music with Offset, and they were outside a building, a club, shooting dice. And actually, it was they was enclosed, I guess, in a part of the building, and that's where Jay Prince's son was, around a game with them, playing cards and dice and whatnot. And then we know once they were outside, the reports were that Quavo got upset about something, and people were kind of saying things back and forth, and I don't know, it was one person on the Migos side let off a shot or something, or it's been so many things, and when they tried to shoot back or something happened, and the bullet went and hit Takeoff. So you see how confused I am talking about it, because that's how
they got two people in custody though. But I mean, what the thing, it was a bowling alley downtown Houston. It was a state-of-the-art bowling alley that was outside of. It was a party for one of the Prince sons or whatever. He wasn't even there no more. He left the scene, from my understanding. Not Jay Prince Jr., but the other one who discovered Drake allegedly. And like the thing about it is, you look at some of the footage, it's like Quavo was de-escalating whatever the situation was. He was walking away. It's like that's when his nephew got shot when they was leaving the scene or trying to go away. But like, it is confused. I hate dealing with these type of things because you got witnesses, you got a whole bunch of witnesses there, but you never know what the exact story was. Even with like the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion, you got witnesses there, but witnesses' testimony ain't always reliable for whatever reason. So we look at the Takeoff thing, you got to question the timing of it all. He got sacrificed during November. That's a month a lot of rappers getting knocked out, whether it be Mo3 or King Von or Young Dolph, or a lot of rappers getting knocked off in the month of April for whatever reason. So who benefits from the removal of Takeoff? And he get killed in Houston. Takeoff, the rocket, the Houston Rockets, NASA space program. He gets killed there after Halloween.
And his first solo album, he was on a rocket on the cover.
Right.
It's like, why do celebrity deaths always have to make us feel like it's a conspiracy? It's like, can it really be that much of a coincidence? Because why does it always have like three things that match up? Why is it the Houston? Why is it Rockets here? Why is this? Like, it's just, why can't it just be a normal situation? It always got to be something that makes us go, could it be?
It is, but it's like you can't prove it. It's like, when Denzel Curry and Ronald Harris, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Like, it's some funny business going on, but how can you prove it? Where's the paper trail? That's the
Well, let me
thing.
tell
You
you
know, these people
something.
benefit.
We may not know the paper trail in that, but we know the feds got the paper trail when it comes to Young Thug and YSL and Ghana. Okay. Okay. If you go on Black Twitter, they have every verse where Ghana said he wasn't a snitch. They got every verse where Ghana said he looked out for his brothers. Okay. Black Twitter will pull out the evidence on you. Okay. Because right now they're calling Ghana a snitch. If you don't know, I did a whole show with a lawyer on this landing. You can go back on Kera Dangerous Talk and you can look at it, and we went over it really thoroughly, the case. But right now they're facing 3 new charges. Okay. Violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, possession of a firearm during commission of a felony, and possession of a machine gun. Young Thug is facing all that in his YSL group. Every day it seems like we hear one more person be going home, being put on probation because they cut some kind of deal. Some people say it's snitching, some people say it's not. I mean, I don't know, Ron. People want to go home now. People starting to say it is no such thing as snitching. It's you did it, I didn't do it. I want to go home.
Right.
It makes sense to me, but I'm not in that life.
But when did it come to this, though? They should be just entertainers. Why are they involved in this street life mess?
And let me tell you something. Young Jeezy, I believe, said that somebody, I can't remember which rapper, pulled him aside. I believe it was him telling the story, not him telling the story about somebody else. And he said, you can't do both. You either in the streets or you in the studio. The same thing was said to Little Baby. The same thing Young Thug said to Little Baby. So I don't know why he getting caught up in if he had the nerve to say it to somebody else, but sometimes it's easier to give somebody else advice than it is for you to take it. I mean, we saw when Young Thug was on the podcast with what's the dude from Philly?
I know you're talking about when you try to tell them that you got all this stuff going for you, right? I remember
they told him Marlo or whatever his name was. They were talking to him, and they said, "Look, it'll be you going to prison, and those same homeboys that told they were gonna have your back, they ain't gonna be nowhere to be found. You gonna have to look at the walls." And he was just sitting there saying, probably knew in that interview he was facing some trouble.
Right. The Young Thug got talent. He a weirdo, but he's talented too. I mean, he's one of them guys that's very talented. He's a hit maker. But you know, it's funny that him and Meg Thee Stallion did that song "Don't Stop" about 2 years ago. They both had some issues come up. That 2020 was an interesting year, but everybody snitches though. Because you even look at the mob, the gangsters, all of them, the biggest snitches are the mob bosses. Like Lucky Luciano was snitching. John Gotti's second in command, Sammy the Bull Gravano. He got a second career as a social media darling on YouTube and stuff. He was a big snitch. Whitey Bulger, who was the boss of the Irish mob up in Boston, was snitching and getting help from the FBI. You know, so there ain't no such thing as there's no honor among thieves for a reason. And to me, snitching is like people understand if you're a civilian and you catch somebody doing wrongdoing and you report it to the so-called authorities, that's not snitching. You wasn't involved. To me, a snitch is a person who was actually involved in a conspiracy and telling their co-conspirators. That's a snitch. Snitch is not grandma that sees some drug dealers hanging out in the corner slinging drugs. She called the police on them. That's just grandma and being a civilian. But if you actually involved in committing crimes and you get caught and you, in order to lessen your load, you telling your other people you a rat, you a snitch. But you got to look at it even is a double standard because you go to Frank Sinatra. He was a dang. Frank Sinatra was a thug. And I love Frank Sinatra music.
The whole Rat Pack, huh?
The whole Rat Pack, bunch of gangsters and informants, and they set people up. They were setting people up. So why is it that Frank Sinatra get a pass? There's a picture of Frank Sinatra in a famous mob photo with Carlo Gambino and I think Paul Castellano. These are the heads and the future head of the Gambino crime family. So he's taking pictures and selfies with these goons and gangsters, and nobody doing nothing against Frank Sinatra. Nobody comes. It's like with Elvis Presley, his birthday coming up on January the 8th, along with R. Kelly. Nobody's touching the legacy of Elvis Presley when it comes to pretty
You
young
know they
kids.
ain't gonna touch Frank Sinatra. That's like white folks R&B. That's like the dude they put up there. They love
But he
Frank
was a
Sinatra.
thug. He was
They
well
can do
known.
no
I'm saying he
wrong.
hanged around with gangsters though. He was well known for being a thug. Go
Well, let
around
me tell
fighting
you.
people and stuff.
He well known for being a thug. But what about your boy R. Kelly? Because this year
Free Kelly.
he was in the news just recently because we all got duped thinking that he put out a new album. I admit. And he didn't admit anything because on my show, not many people seen it as much as these other outlets, but I had an official statement from an A&R rep that works with R. Kelly, Mr. Darlington, Julius, and he let me know that this was not a project put out by R. Kelly's team, and R. Kelly was not standing by it. Okay, and so it was later taken down from all the social media platforms. But I have to tell you, the Council Society is still here, Ron. But people still like R. Kelly music. Those are the two things that I learned. Cancel culture is still here, and people still like R. Kelly's music.
I love R. Kelly music. I love it. I have yet to be in a barbershop or a restaurant when they play R. Kelly for somebody turn that ish off and walk out and discuss. I was at a repast and people started playing R. Kelly. We started dancing at the repast. So I mean, R. Kelly is a brilliant. He's up there with the greats like the Mayfields and the Gays and all them guys. And it's a shame that all that talent is still there. His voice is still there and is being wasted away in prison. Somebody need to record R. Kelly in prison. Somebody need to document. R. Kelly is a brilliant man. He needs to come home. He's been violated by the Just Us system. Release R. Kelly. Free R. Kelly. If Jerry Lee Lewis could die a free man this year, and he married his 13-year-old cousin, Elvis label made that song records. Let R. Kelly go, because Aaliyah was given to R. Kelly as a present.
Damn.
I've been saying, like, he produced her first album. I love Aaliyah. Aaliyah, look, you think about, okay, Aaliyah did Isley Brothers. I could listen to a whole album of Aaliyah does Isley. Because Beyonce can't touch Aaliyah when it comes to doing Isley Brother covers. Aaliyah was such a talent, and they sacrificed Aaliyah. They robbed us of Aaliyah. I ain't gonna never forget where I was at when I heard about Aaliyah dying. It was devastating. And it's like a couple weeks then, September 11 happened. But I'm saying Aaliyah was a real talent. Beyonce did massacre people's songs. Aaliyah did that. You remember At Your Best, You I Love? You remember that she did that on her first album? Boy,
you ain't gotta tell me about no Aaliyah. I love
Aaliyah. I'm just saying, like, even Drake has got a weird fascination with Aaliyah. You got Aaliyah looking like a little bit like Aaliyah. You got that going on for you.
Yeah, I had her post up on my wall when she died, boy.
Yeah, it was and her last album was great. I mean, her last album was amazing. That last album was amazing.
And I'm still mad Tommy Hilfiger talking about Beyonce made Tommy Hilfiger. No, Aaliyah made Tommy Hilfiger. She had it on all the time, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to wear it. You don't remember that?
Yeah, Aaliyah was. I mean, she was the princess of hip hop R&B or whatever. Aaliyah was a trendsetter, but you know, Beyonce. It's like Beyonce and Jay-Z benefited from their peers being removed out the scene. I don't think Beyonce will be as big. She will be big, but I don't know if Aaliyah was around.
No,
well, because Beyonce didn't do interviews back in the day. It was weird because Beyonce actually couldn't really. I mean, she wasn't smart or something. I don't know.
People
you remember the early interviews with Beyonce.
But you remember when Beyonce was just starting out, they had her on the red carpet interviewing people, and she interviewed Aaliyah or something like that.
I saw a clip of that.
And it showed you then how big of a star Aaliyah was, and Beyonce was just starting out. And I also said the same thing as you. It would have been a lot different if Aaliyah was still alive.
Yeah.
And somebody brought up this discussion, in which I don't want to get into it, but if you look at Mary J. Blige's career, Mary J. Blige is the bomb. I love her. Don't get me wrong.
I love her, yeah.
But nobody really was holding her up to this level until Whitney Houston died. Think about it now. Like, it takes some time for people to kind of get out your way for you to be able to, for people to kind of put you up to another position as well. And when we talk about position, a man who put a lot of women in a funny position, he passed away this year.
Oh, Kevin Samuels. Kevin the Great.
Kevin Samuels.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can feel how you want about Kevin Samuels, but he was another figure that was just bigger than life. And whether you hated him or not, he had a voice and he was gonna be heard.
Yeah.
And some people said, well, you were one of the people, Run. You think he was doing God's work, huh?
Oh, he definitely doing God. He's like our version of Malcolm X. How far everything has went down. He's our version of Malcolm and Khalid Muhammad today. I mean, because black men, we need black men need to stand up now. We need to start being men now. It's time for us, because like you look at this year was ruled by black men as far as the conversations, whether it be Herschel Walker and Warnock, or whether it be Ye, or whether it be Kyrie, or whether it be any black man, name a black man. We were conversation starters and game changers this year. And, you know, and black men are needed. And Kevin Samuels was standing up for the black men, because black men, we are taken for granted in society. We are looked at as nothing but to be a provider, and also to be a whipping post for people. Like, you know, black men, we don't have the type of power. How can we be the white man of black people? We're not allowed to be the head of our households, let alone stay at home. How can we be oppressing black women? Black women can't wait to be the white man's enforcer.
I don't know about that, but
man, I go to DMV.
We'll have a whole another 2 hours
black
on
women
that.
want to deny. It's black women. They be at the DMV, IRS, at the food place. They want to talk funny to you. You be at the airport talking crazy to brothers and stuff. I said, "What's going on, sister?" They said, "You don't want to dance with us. You don't want to dance with me. What y'all don't want to be in me. I'm trying to be good spirited. Trying to be happy. You got a nice smile. I don't care. You leave me alone. Get the hell on out of here."
Well, if a woman like you, they gonna dance. But I do get what you mean. There does need to be some softening on both sides for sure. But I think Kevin Samuels, I had a video, but it was 2 minutes long. I'm not gonna play it. But basically, he said that he was just trying to help women, and he thinks that a lot of people got a lot from him. And the people who complained the most didn't even watch a full show to see the different interactions he had. And I think his intentions were good, even if they didn't always come that way. I mean, I've talked to some people who say he stole a lot of his ideas from other black men who've written books that cover some of the topics that he would discuss, and he really didn't give them any credit. I mean, that's neither here nor there. I'm just throwing that out there. But I think all in all, he's a figure that's kind of missed, because I don't know what her name is, but just in researching tonight, I came across that it's a new white lady now teaching how Kevin Samuels taught, and they're asking the question, has she taken his place? I don't know her name, but I'm sure you will soon, because if I'm seeing it out there, then she's probably getting pretty popular. So you'll probably see people piggybacking off of him as well. But hey, you get a lot of hate sometimes when you got a big message like he did. I didn't always agree with the things he said. Every now and then he'll say something, but I think I'll have to say his audience was also a particular kind of women. Maybe a woman that needed to be picked up, maybe a woman with low self-esteem. You know, I don't think his message was for every woman, but apparently it was for some women because they tuned in.
I mean, I think he did what he's supposed to do when he came here. I don't think you're supposed to be a people pleaser. To be great, you can't be a people pleaser. You got to be yourself, and you got to be honest to what your message is. Now, people always say, "Well,
Ron, take your hat off, Ron. I'm sorry. Take your hat off." They said if you take your hat off, they'll dance.
I do. It ain't about that. It's about the fact that people see what they want to see. Like, people will look at one thing in one context. Like you talk about Kevin Samuels, they don't look at the whole video. They take something out of context. If you're not with a person 24/7, how can you really understand who that person really is and where they're coming from, or give them the benefit of the doubt? People are so triggered by sound bites. What Kevin Samuels said was truth. Now, how he said it, that's you get triggered by that. But what he said, a lot of he said was good information, because there is a disconnect between men and women. And it's like, to me, black men, we don't value ourselves enough to be true to who we are and to stand up for ourselves. And like, with women, it's women that's delusional about who they are. It's like, you know, I go to places, like I look at these young women, I was like, damn, you got eyelashes glued on your face, you got hair glued everywhere, you all tatted up, you know, you're not in shape and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm supposed to accept you, but I got to be the perfect man. Everything, I gotta be perfect. My bank account gotta have perfect numbers in it. I gotta be a certain size or physique or a certain look. But I gotta just like accept a woman for what she is. I gotta just accept that shit. I gotta die for that. I gotta provide for that. I just gotta accept that. That's my life. I don't deserve better either.
People
Take
will
me
only
as I
know what
am.
you show
No,
them
man.
until you get to know them.
Nobody want to get to know anybody. To get to know people takes time. It's an investment. That's why I don't really like with the dating stuff. It's like it takes time to get to know new people. You get a certain age. You don't have that time a lot of time to always trying to figure out people and try to get to know them. Because to me, it's a waste of time. Because as soon as I want to invest time and get to know me, then folks say they want to know me, but they wasting my time. I rather get to learn and love myself. I think the key thing, you got to love yourself enough to not put up with too much BS from other people. Stop letting folks' projections be your reality.
Woo.
That's what I'm learning. Stop letting people project things. They can project things, but stop receiving that as if it's the gospel truth. Now, if Kevin Samuels, what he said didn't apply, then let it fly. How come people get emotionally triggered by Kevin Samuels or Akon or anybody? How can you let people you never met have that much control over your life and existence? That's why I feel
I agree with that
about us and people in general, because my thing about what Kevin said, a hit dog hollers, right? There is a problem. Because I look at in my own life, there's a problem. Like, I'm 42 years old. People that went to school with me, they're grandparents already. I don't got one kid that I know of out there. And I'm the
36 and I know somebody that's a
patient.
grandparent. So yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't disrespect women. Women tell me you too nice. And nice guys finish last for a reason. I could be a serial killer.
Look what y'all did. Y'all don't got run on to this damn run. It's okay, brother. You gonna find yours, okay? Don't worry about it.
No, I ain't worried about that. I'm just saying I understand the passport bros phenomenon when brothers going overseas to get with women. Because like these women here, man, it's like, I just don't know how good y'all got. Black women protect black women. You raising simps. How are you gonna help men protect you? We not raising boys to be men. You can't raise them, man. Like a lot of us dealing with stuff we did from our moms and stuff. We trying to deconstruct that stuff.
Now this gonna be a whole nother episode, because it's like it's men and women at fault too. As much as people want to say it's a saying that you know how a country is by the women, but it's got to be strong men to help those women out for the women to be productive. So it's some wrongs on both sides, and I can't go with nobody who just want to blame it on one thing, because that's just not. It's a lot of good women and it's a lot of good men, but you have to just, I was single for a long time, but you just got to be able to, whoever you want or whatever you want, you just got to be able to match up with some energy that fits you. And sometimes we go through journeys and processes and we don't know why we're doing it. Sometimes we go through a bad relationship and it's just solely to teach us how to be better for our next relationship. And so even though you may feel like you're in a bleak situation and you're not finding those people, just keep living. You will find somebody. Keep working on yourself. No, I'm not. This is not just for you. I'm just saying in general, like it's a lot of hurt people blaming the mama, blaming the daddy. But at some point, as adults, we all have to just start working on ourselves. But there does need to be something done about the broken home. But if you blaming the mother for the father, where was the father?
They chose to be with that. You know what I'm saying? The women.
Yeah, but where was the father? If the man's supposed to be the leader, where is the father? I don't care what y'all say. You cannot blame that on women. But y'all either want to be the boss or you don't. If the father's not going to be in the home, then you can't bitch about the woman teaching the son and he coming out of simp. Because the man should have never left.
She know the man. She liked him because he could make pretty babies. Okay. Yeah, women. I got him because he could make a pretty baby. I know he wasn't crap. Well, you chose to open your legs to crap, and you get garbage in, garbage out. But so the women gotta be accountable. Cause I look at the music.
But you can't just blame it on one side, Ron.
No, I'm acknowledging.
You can't complain about women raising men, but the man ain't even gonna stay in the home. The woman got a choice of the man she picked, but the man got a choice of who he stick his dick in. You the one who got the power to impregnate the damn egg. So you got to be more responsible about who you shooting out in front of. Once condoms came into place, I mean, okay, use a condom. But people out here raw dogging. If people so concerned about the type of woman is with, then sometimes you're gonna have to say, no, I don't want to sleep with you. No, I don't want to do this until you get to know the person well. We picking low value men and women. Stop picking them.
Yeah, but y'all, here's the thing. I got a problem with that because everybody don't blame Nick Cannon like he's the one that's irresponsible. But look at all the women that agreed to lay down or get inseminated by his seed. Where's the accountability? Oh, he making all these babies into bastards. But where are the women accountability when it comes to that? They're allowing him because they want a lifestyle. They want certain things. They
I
want,
agree with that, Ron.
yes, I mean, like the women, look, the women, look, white women told their men, I want you to kill these Negroes. It was a white woman from Georgia named Rebecca Latimer, like Rebecca Felton Latimer. She was the first woman senator. She told white men, defend the white woman, kill these Negroes, lynch them. And that's what they did. And what I'm saying is, they didn't care about voting. Black women, I was talking about we for women's rights. We put everybody's rights before our own people, man. That's our problem. Like that black woman just died. They had that fist raised for Gloria Steinem. She lost everything. That fool didn't even have her own business she had in Harlem because she refused to invest in the black family and the black men. She thought them white women were her allies. And Gloria Steinem was there rich and a limousine liberal and stuff, and she's still kicking. The other woman died disillusioned and broke in her daughter's home down in Florida, I think. But my thing is this, that when we don't stand with each other, we are standing against each other. This means it's divide and conquer with our consent. What I'm saying is it's not about blaming women for everything, but women got to understand something. You cannot be saying that it's all on the man when the women are choosing certain guys to open their legs to have kids with. And if they're not being the teacher of the child, if they're not creating a foundation, I know once you come of age as a grown up, you can't blame your parents for everything. But if the women ain't right, then a lot of things ain't gonna be right. If our women are not right, a lot of things ain't gonna be right.
We do have to move on because we got like 5 minutes. But I have to say, if the men truly keep talking about y'all the leader and keep talking about this and that, you have to be able to take some accountability. You're never gonna hear me say that it's one side is to blame, because it's both sides. But the thing is that you can't keep talking about some we a leader and we this and that and still putting all the onus on women, when if the men do right in the homes, if they do right, it wouldn't even be half of these problems. If y'all supposed to be so superior like a lot of men think, then won't you lead correctly? If a man lead right, a woman will follow. I don't care what you say. Because I done been around men. I can tell a weak man just like this, and I won't show him no respect hardly. But a man don't even have to let me know he an alpha male. He ain't got to say, he ain't got to be no asshole. I'm just going to respect him because he deserves respect, because that's what I'm getting from him. When people respect others, they respect them. And we have lost the respect for each other. It comes down to the respect and for the love. And that's just half of it, because we got all the slave mentality and all the rest of the bullshit. But what I saw on social media today is Melissa Ford. She said next year, I would love to stop seeing the polls and the questions that pin black women and black men against each other. And we're going to leave it there on that topic. Now, the next thing me and you want to say, since we got to wrap it up, is rest in peace to the soccer football legend, Pele. I was able to meet him at ESPN. I saw him, I didn't grow up with soccer. I knew who he was from being around it for so many years, from working with people who were soccer players. I worked for ESPN, like I just said, but I also got a chance to work for Deportes, where I got a chance to meet, different people who did play football. So I knew this brother was a bad brother. And a lot of people look at him as the GOAT, even though I know a lot of people say Messi is, but he just passed away. So I just want to say rest in peace to him.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. You have an amazing life. You meet somebody like him of his stature. I think he is the GOAT. Period. He's probably the GOATest GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like people talk about LeBron and Michael. You can make a case for Will Chamberlain, Kareem, and stuff, but with Pele, I mean, nobody comes close to him. They want to put Messier, whoever. This man scored over 1,000 goals, 1,281 goals for his career. He won 3 World Cups. He won his first one as a teenager, and nobody comes close to that. I mean, when people think about soccer in America, they think about Pele because he played for the New York Cosmos back in the 70s. You know, he's the most, you know, probably the greatest athlete of the 20th century. Just because we don't know about Pele greatness like that, the number one sport in the world is what? It's football, it's soccer. So this man's iconic, and his reach is beyond soccer. To me, he's kind of like one of the greatest ambassadors of humanity in a way, kind of like a Louis Armstrong. Look how he look. He's tall, you know, he's not tall, but he's dark and handsome, and he's got an electrifying smile in him. He got charisma that's oozing out of those pictures. How can you hate a man like that? He's such an ambassador of goodwill. And like he was so powerful that they stopped the civil war in Nigeria so he could play soccer for the people.
Just amazing. And it's still, and Black really don't crack because he looked this way when I saw him as well. Brother looked good. We got about 2 minutes run. And what I want to tell people is something from Real Talk Kim. I want you to remember God often chooses difficult seasons to increase our anointing. Don't walk out on your season. Don't call it quits. Just call it a night. Get some rest and try again tomorrow. Like me and Ron Hurd said, it's been a challenging year for so many of us with the prices going up in the stores, people stealing, the kids bad, the adults just everybody's just crazy.
Right, it's a crazy world, man. It's a bad world.
Just one more time, y'all hit the thumbs up button before you get out of here. And also a rest in peace to my favorite little pal this year. Thank you so much, Blackjack. I had him for 14 years. Wow. He ended up getting cancer this past summer, and I had to let him go. But let me tell you, I'm always talking about him. I still remember how he used to bite me in the nose when I thought me and him were having a special moment. This is him around last Christmas. I made him wear his I made him wear his tux, his little bow, his little what you call it, a bow tie, because he was a tuxedo cat. Yeah, and he was Black. Let me tell you, I used to call him Mix. He'll switch up on me. But he was a great cat. Everybody liked him. People who didn't even like cats liked him. And you know, I just use him to say, you know, I wish they would make more affordable health insurance for animals, because, you know, people really love their pets and you can barely afford to even help them out when they get sick. You know, you really get put in some bad situations. So I just want to bring awareness to that issue. And also, I want to just go for a second run while we got 1 more minute to just say about Kyrie Irving, because we didn't really get to say how the media did him wrong, and a lot of the Black anchors or Black sports talking heads, they basically turned into coons about Kyrie. You know, people were disappointed in Shaq, people was disappointed in Stephen A. Smith, people were disappointed and Charles Barkley. I mean, they weren't disappointed in Charles because he's normally a coon. But y'all gonna make me bring my shirts back next year. My no cooning shirts. I'm gonna make sure I try to sell them again. It's gonna be better than this. It's gonna be a new coon on here, new graphics. You're gonna be able to see the coon up close and personal. And it's still no cooning over here, baby. I don't care how you make your money, just don't make it the cooning way. And you know how we say it, cooning is an adjective, because sometimes people doing it and sometimes people not. But just try to keep it as real as possible, people. Ron, I want to say I'm thankful for you this year. You got on my nerves sometimes this year. We'll talk about that later. But all in all, it's been fun to know you. And I'm proud of the work you do over there at WeAllbe TV. You guys make sure you go over there and follow and subscribe if you haven't already. But I sure hope it's a better year next year. For me personally, this year was a humbling year. This was a year of a lot of challenges, but I learned a lot, and I learned a lot to the point where I think I'm gonna have some good things to take over to 2023.
That's good to know you good people. And then rest in peace, Blackjack. I had a chance to encounter that interesting cat, that fellow. That's right. Oh, wow, you doing it too good. But he was a personality. I was trying to eat my pork chops in peace, but he was all right. He was welcoming to his humble abode. Not really a humble abode. This is a nice place. You got a very nice.
No, I don't.
Okay, no, she don't. But yeah, she
No,
does.
no.
But like what Dion said, because we can get Dion. He said you either elevate or you get terminated, right? You elevate or
Yes.
terminate. So it's good. We got to elevate if we want to stay around. And I know that the best is yet to come for Sister Kara. And y'all get those shirts. They're good quality shirts. I got 2 of them. They good. They're good
When they
quality
come back
shirts.
out,
Yeah.
And that's another topic we were supposed to talk about, Deion Sanders. But the thing is, he told them people he wasn't gonna stay there forever. But we just agreed. Well, I think that if he would have just not said that and would have left, it would have been okay. But the point is that he made it like it was a black and white thing, and that he wanted to build up the HBCUs and kind of fight that systematic issues that was going on. And I think people was just surprised that he was leaving how he did, but whatever, he's gone. We starting to see maybe some other NFL stars will start trying to coach and at HBCUs. I think I saw Reed, that used to play on the Baltimore Ravens, just get picked up to go somewhere. I believe his first name is Ed Reed. I think that's
one of the greatest safeties of
yeah,
running light, one of the greatest football players of all time.
He's supposed to be going to a school. I forgot which HBCU, but hopefully, since Dion did step down and do that, more black men will start stepping up and wanting to coach at HBCUs. We just have to wait and see, huh?
Now, what Dion did, what he's supposed to do, I would like to see Dion do it Eddie Robinson, but he wasn't meant to stay that long. What he did was he brought awareness to HBCU sports. He also upgraded the facilities at Jackson State. He brought a lot of eyes there. He brought ESPN Game Day down there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did a lot of things to elevate that program. If he was a loser at Jackson State, nobody would care where he went after Jackson State. They wouldn't want him to stay there that long. But Dion has always been a winner with a winning attitude, a lot of confidence in himself, one of the greatest, if not the greatest football player of all time to a lot of people. You got to understand what he was going through at Jackson, right? They broke into his locker room and stole his wallet and credit cards. They broke into his son's car. They stole his boombox. He went through a lot of hell with the administration. Like he was robbed of ticket revenue at Jackson State. There was a lot of funny style business going on at Jackson State. But at the same time, if it was for HBCUs, a lot of great football Hall of Famers are product of HBCUs. Walter Payton down in Jackson State, the great Steve McNair, Alcorn State, Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley State, got Grambling, got so many HBCUs, but job well done to Neon Dion, Coach Primetime. I believe he very much delivered. It would have been nice if he could have stayed there for a longer period, but God had other plans. And, people forget he almost lost his life last year.
No, that's true. Lost the toe and everything.
Almost lost his leg, yeah.
I think for me, I wanted it to be like those movies we see, Dangerous Minds or something with Lean on Me. I wanted, he was this black hope, and we knew he had a brilliant football mind. We knew he was spectacular. We already knew he had the swag. He checked all the boxes, Ron. And I think it hurt. It hurts because you saw he was making a movement, and he had those young men, these black young men, listening to him and taking in every word he said. I mean, the other day I saw a video of him telling kids to jump in the portal and run. He was so motivational. I wanted to jump in the damn portal. I said, strap me up, baby. Put me on some cleats and get me out there. And I would be hurt if I was out there, but he captures your attention, and he makes you want to be on the team. And that's why we were upset about it. And I get it. I get why he wanted to move on. But when you tell black people you want to be in the fight with them, and you showing us what you can do, and we know we've seen your work, we were just hurt by that. And for a person to be mad, I understand why they could have been upset or let down. Maybe not mad, but I understand why a person's feelings can be hurt, because it's just like, I want to see that movie ending. I want to see somebody take a sacrifice and stay somewhere, even if they got the bubble gum stolen a couple of times. I mean, get another pack. You got some money. I get it. But sometimes we just want to see a person say, hey, I'll stay here and go through the mud with y'all, with my people. And I think that's why a lot of us was disappointed. But hey, yeah, he can go get the money, but that's the easy way, to get the money. But hey, what do I know?
I think he did what he had to do. But I mean, Nick Saban had to worry about nobody violating him in the state of Alabama. You think Nick Saban worried about somebody breaking into his locker room doing the
But
game?
that's a whole nother situation. That's a whole.
But he was a threat to Nick Saban though, because Nick Saban talked about how you getting Travis Hunter, one of the number one, like the top.
Of course he did.
Yeah, but Deion ain't the issue. It's us as a people. We the issue. We put too much on people as far as expectations. You got to save yourself. Jesus already died one time allegedly for your sins. Why you need all these saviors? Black people always need somebody to deal them out.
Much is given, much is. How does it go?
Too much is given, much is expected.
Exactly. And
look, Deion played for about 5 teams during his professional career as a football player.
We ain't talking about his team. We talking about what he was doing.
I'm just saying he used to moving around. He used to things having an expiration date on them. He's teaching them a viable business lesson that nothing lasts forever. Soon as you get in some place, you got to think about your exit strategy. Soon you land in a place, you got to think about your exit strategy. Whether it be a year, a month, or 20 years from now, you got to have an exit strategy. Because if you have a couple of losing seasons, they'll do them like Eddie Robinson was done dirty towards the end, was he not?
Well, that's true. It is. It's like it's part of entertainment. So you're
Tom Landry, Dallas Cowboys. Come on,
people good to you one day, good to you not. But I tell you what's been good to me, Run. This show's been good, and we kept these people here for over 2 hours. So I want to give a shout out to everybody on social media, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Make sure you press that like button. Make sure you leave us some comments about the topics about the show in the comment section, and make sure you subscribe. Run, it's been beautiful again.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
And y'all be safe tomorrow. People be drinking and driving. Make sure you get your safe ride home. If you've been drinking, make sure if you're going out with your friends, you don't go to the bathroom by yourself. You don't let them go to the bathroom by yourself. Brothers, y'all make sure y'all look out for each other. If it's static, you don't have to argue with people, because people will shoot you nowadays. Right. Even in the car, try not to even have road rage. I just want y'all to be safe is all I'm saying. And I'm signing off. I'm Kera Dangerous.
I'm Brother Ron.
And